Alright, so now we have that first pose. I'm going to save my scene and just version up. Version 2. Okay, so we have our first pose down. Let's keep going. So now we can use the reference we shot to start to build the scene. At this stage in the game, we're only interested in the storytelling poses. These are the ones that you need to include so that the audience can understand the action or performance that you're trying to get across. Only at the poses that you need to sell the idea. So looking at this reference, I'd say there are 4 or 5 storytelling poses. Let's figure out what they might be. To do that, I'm going to create a cube like so. I hold down the space bar to bring up this hotbox menu. I'll go to Create, Polygon Primitives, Cube, and just let go. It should create a little cube down here. I'm just going to use this to add some keys to it at the same frames that we think the key poses are in our reference. It will help us to easily view the reference as it might look when it's blocking, and I'll show you how as we move along. So the first pose we already have, awesome, that's him perched on the platform. So let's add a key to the cube, and I'll add it at a point just before we launch. So let's say somewhere around here. So you can hit S on the cube, add a key. Another key pose would obviously be the 3-point landing, the reason we're all here. So let's go and add that. So maybe somewhere, let's add it here. So if I have the cube selected and I use the greater than and less than keys on the keyboard, I can easily flip between poses like this. So this is the equivalent of flipping your sheets of paper in your fingers if you were doing traditional 2D animation. So now we can see that if we only included those 2 keys, you wouldn't be able to tell what just happened. Did he teleport to the ground? Did he fall down? Has he flown down? Who knows? So we need to add the other poses in order to tell the story. Every shot is its own story. It has a beginning, middle, and an end. We need to add the middle. So if we scrub through the reference, we can say that the middle happens up in the air here somewhere, at the top of the arc. So let's key the cube. So let's say, I'd say the top is probably 54, 55, so let's go 54. Add a key. Adding this pose should add a great deal in showing what has happened. So let's just try flipping, which it does. So now we can tell he's jumped down. He didn't fall down, he didn't teleport or fly, he definitely jumped. So that is quite a bit of information, but it doesn't really show how he jumped. And I think if we just add a couple more poses, we'll be able to sell more of the feeling of our character. So I'd say we need also to include some of this stretch as we leave the platform. That's quite a good one, just before the feet leave the ladder. So I'll add another key there. It would also be great to add in some stretch as we descend. So let's do the same just as the feet touch the ground and have a look at that. So that, again, it's just giving you enough information to read the action and to portray the action that you want to show. You want to show the athleticism, you want to show the 3-point landing. I think one thing it's missing, and I think it's good to add in, is just another pose up at the top, just to show the descent and the feel more of the arc of the jump itself. So let's add that in, and I reckon if we go frame 57 just before we start descending, key that. So I think that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that in terms of blocking, and if you were to block out this shot with those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 poses and show that to a director, they could understand what you're going for, what the shot is, and the feeling and the character that you're trying to portray. Okay, so I think we're good to start adding in the second pose. And so I think we'll start in the middle, which looks to be at frame 54. While adding these poses, I'll be working in the perspective viewport here, whilst also looking at the same time at the camera viewport. So if you're not already, I'd recommend watching the class in full screen video.